Hey, this is Sebastian for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I have the pleasure to be joined by.
Dizzy Reed, that's me.
It's great to be chatting today. Your album, Rock and Roll Chose Me. It feels like a reckoning. What did you have to let go of mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to finish this work of art?
Well, I really just held my breath a lot and hope that it would, because it was, I had to find a home for it, which we did eventually, because I pretty much finished it back in, I don't know, 2020.
Wow.
Um, but it was, a lot of these songs have been there's a couple of songs that I wanted to put on my first record, but there wasn't enough room. And then there's just a lot of songs that had in my head or, in cyberspace waiting to be dusted off. And I picked the 10 that I wanted to work on the most. And it was actually when it's finally done and now that it's coming out, it's kind of liberating, you know what I'm saying? Like just to get that out and so people can hear it. And you just wonder, like, what are people going to think of it? It's maybe sometimes, but and how is it going to go over? And all that's just gone now. So, it's out there and whatever happens, happens now.
And of course, you explore mental health, which is like really important to me, and the American dream. If the album were a therapy session, then which track would be your breakthrough moment?
Hmm. Let me see here. Maybe a breakthrough moment. Maybe intro through the outro because it just gets the everything flowing and then you can see things a little bit clearer. But certainly my wounds because that addresses those very things. And
Mhm.
that's a song that's really important to me. It's very special to me. I worked on it with my daughter, who sings on it with me, and we both have suffered from mental illness, over the years. And when I was her age, or when I was, she's grown up now, but growing up with it in my time, it wasn't a thing.
No, it wasn't. You're right. I
You were
know.
just crazy, or you were like, oh, he'll get over it. Oh, he's just going through,
Yeah, yeah,
um, or cheer up. All the usual things.
yeah, yeah.
Um, I'm glad that I'm actually able to talk to my daughter about it, and I
Yeah.
can talk like and my wife Nadia also. She helped with that and she sort of brings in the view from someone who is, you know, who is close to someone who has goes through these things,
Hmm.
and um, while she doesn't herself. So that song really means a lot to me, and I
Yeah.
hope that it helps people understand and people know that helps people know that they're not alone. And it's you can't say it enough. You can
No.
get help. You can get help for all this stuff, man, and it's cool. There's nothing wrong. It's you're cool. You're good. You can get help, and that's that, and you should.
And I know what you mean. Like when you were growing up, it was awful, really, wasn't it? It was hard, and it was the stigma. But at least nowadays, you can actually talk about it, and it helps you battle through. And in my case, the drugs do work because I've been on really good antidepressants for a long time, and it has helped. It does help, but it still doesn't make life always easy. So I think music is my therapy, and obviously it's your therapy, yeah.
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely it keeps me from going crazy.
Yeah,
But
man. I
but
just
yeah,
found so much inspiration from your album. You know what I mean? The songs and that. Just I was like, yeah, this dude's singing what I feel. So that's good, man. Yeah.
man, that's fantastic. Awesome, man.
All right. So of course, all of the songs will be your babies. I love the song Contact as well as the song you've just mentioned. But which is your favorite today and why?
That's a tough one. I think I don't know. I think Earn It to Burn It just because it's out there right now and it's been stuck in my head.
All
So,
right, and I'm sorry, it's my pussy cat. She likes to make an appearance on
oh,
my
hey,
interviews. This is Tabitha, yeah.
hi.
He's
Oh,
a,
that's awesome.
he's a little
Yeah,
darling. All right, so Born a Number, that's like a real cool dancing on the tables, raising kind of hell 50s groove, man. Is that going to be possibly the next single?
you know what? I haven't thought about that, but that's not a bad idea. I mean, we'll
Yeah.
see. Have to have a meeting, but yeah, that's a there's a couple things about that song. It's musically. it's a little, it's got that old time rock and roll boogie woogie thing. I wanted to do this riff on the piano that I was, again, was in cyberspace. Um, and then it kind of goes into almost a ragtime end, but I wanted to be like Freebird. I wanted to have that big jam,
Yeah, man.
and Mark and Forrest play their asses off on the end of that too. So, and it's just something, like if I'm having a show, we're doing that song, and I can go like this, and we can just keep doing it.
Yeah, yeah. You said the music was born from your love of metal and John Lord. If
Yeah.
John could hear this record, which track would make him raise a ghostly eyebrow? Like, hey,
Well, I hopefully earn it to burn it, and also intro through the outro. I think those
yeah,
are. I'm definitely trying to channel my John Lord and my Booker T and my Edgar Winter.
yeah,
But I think maybe, I don't know. I'd hope that he'd be into it. He was up here when it comes
yeah.
to me, to the metal, the heavy, that and the rock and roll Hammond players. He was, yeah. That's the bar. It's up there, and then everybody else is over here.
So, did you ever manage to meet John?
Unfortunately, no, I did not.
Oh, what a shame.
Him. He's in my heart for sure.
Okay. Um, so I'm going to ask you a similar question to that. Ozzy Osbourne obviously recently passed. Did you manage to ever meet the great man himself, Ozzy?
I never did meet Ozzy either. I've
Really?
met so many people, but
Yeah.
he's not one of them, unfortunately.
Oh, what a
But
shame.
Ozzy he's almost transcendent, and still too, and will be for a very long time. He's in my heart too. He is just everything that he did um, mattered. It was influential on so many levels. It was incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so back to the album. If rock and roll chose me were a film and genre, what would it be?
Genre. It would be a biopic. Is that a genre?
Yeah, it's sort of, yeah, yeah, of course it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, like I suppose, I guess in a way, like I don't know, Motley Crue did the Dirt, didn't they, and sort of things like that. So yeah, you could have like a biopic of your like, yeah, yeah, I know what I mean.
Or of a character that's kind of like me.
Yeah,
Um, and it would definitely be more honest and better than The Dirt.
yeah. Still go there.
Yes, I see.
Still go there. All right. So, um, what's the title of the song that best captures your personality on rock and roll throughout your career?
Oh, geez. That's a tough one. Maybe Riding the Storm Out by REO Speedwagon.
Oh, yeah, that's a good answer, man. That's a good one. Okay. So let's go to the album cover then. When that photo was taken, how young would you have been in that photo? And if you could, like, I don't know, like, be someone transport back to that time and say what your future would be in the world of rock and music, what three words would you use? Like,
I
oh
would say
my God.
it's gonna work out,
Cool. Get it?
maybe. That picture, I think I'm 11 or 12 in that picture, 11.
Oh, yeah.
And that my mom took that picture, and we were having a band rehearsal in my mom and dad's basement,
Right.
and she was taking pictures, and I didn't want my picture taken then, so I just flipped her off. You know,
As you did back in the day.
you say today's kids are disrespectful. No, my mom was wonderful. She got it. It was no.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it can't be easy being a kid
No,
today.
true.
Just you don't. What do you do? What do you believe? Where you go? What's happening with the world, and just having that disconnect from everything with those phones, man. It's like,
Yeah.
I do, of course. It's very, very, it's an incredible communication tool and
Mm.
way to get information, whatever. But there's downsides to it, of course.
Yeah, I've got a
And
question about that in a bit. Yeah, so hold on to that one. All right. So you're launching this album globally. Which three countries would you love to tour where the people would scream every lyric like a gospel back at you?
Well, that'd be great to do it here. Um, I think um, maybe New Zealand, Australia, and Finland.
Yeah, okay. Great
Yeah.
answers. All right. So I was going to ask you about this about mobile phones actually. So when we got into music, people enjoyed gigs, the whole spectacle these days. It's like a phone fest, isn't it, with people just like filming. How frustrating is that for you when you're on stage? You know,
I don't, it's almost like I don't notice it anymore because it's just so common.
right.
Um, just part of it. I just, the thing to me is just like, why don't you just enjoy the show and t tell some about it later, um, you can't think about it because you start thinking it's like, oh, I don't know, man. She's like, there's this girl right there like shooting up at my crotch. That's all she can see right now, or
Yeah. Of
um, like that's gonna sound like shit on when they play it back, right?
course it
So
is. Yeah. Makes
yeah,
no sense, man.
but that's just the way it is now, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know there's some artists that you have to check in your phone before you come in, which is interesting, but that seems like such a process to make that happen. And just the potential for, I mean, a lot of people, if they lose their phones, they're fucked. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You
It's
can't,
true. It's
that's
true.
it.
It's true,
Uh,
man. Yeah.
Nobody remembers phone numbers anymore.
No.
Like, shit, you don't even have to type it out anymore. You just go, oh, hey Siri, call so and so,
Yeah, man.
call Jock. Okay, yeah. And then,
Are the plans to do a tour this year, or what's left of this year, or into next year, and hopefully get into Europe?
that GNR is definitely always my top priority. And
Right.
that's where my allegiance lies. And right now, my focus is it's on promoting my music, right, for sure, and I'm grateful that I can. It's very cool. But we start rehearsals in next week, I think, and then we're off to South America with GNR. So
Oh, so
I know
cool.
I'm going to try to squeeze in some shows. I have my other band, Hookers and Blow, and
Yeah.
I know we are going to incorporate some of these newer songs into our set, like we did with my first record. And we have some shows, I think, around Christmas time this year, and we'll see. I'm working hard to try to make the best of every moment, every day, and try to get this music out there. And I definitely would like to do like the whole record at some point, um, and tour around and do that. And of course, I would love to come to Europe, love to come to the UK, love to
Yeah.
go everywhere. Really, I'm getting a lot of plays in China, so maybe I got to go to Shanghai.
Hey,
We'll
man.
see.
That'd be
Yeah.
good, wouldn't it? That'd be cool. Okay, then. So I will ask one question then about the GNR. Have any of the guys heard your new album, and have they had any input into it?
Well, yeah, I think we put out one or both of the last two singles while we were out on tour, and I got some very nice positive comments from my bandmates, and then I always appreciate that because I learned so much from them. I
Mm,
really did, especially about the songwriting process and what it takes and how hard you have to work to make it work and to it's writing songs. It's a craft. It's not, people think it's easy. It's, oh, you just got this idea and you put it down and like, that, yeah, that might work for, Mel Blanc or something. It's not, it's a gimmick song,
yeah, yeah.
but it takes a lot. And I learned a lot from being around those guys and working with them in the studio all these years and performing. So, yeah,
So what's one thing about you that fans think they know, but they always get wrong?
they always get wrong. Well, I don't drive a Bentley,
Okay.
and I drive a nice truck though.
Yeah.
Um, I guess like here's a fun fact. I have never owned and do not own a piano.
Really?
I
Okay.
don't. I've never had a piano in my house. I've had electric pianos, I've had keyboards of all sorts, but the first time I actually, um, when I get to rehearsal, that's the first time I'm playing an acoustic piano probably in a while. And
Okay.
then, so I mean, seems weird, and I don't actually know why. but that's just how it's been. So,
Okay, so I'm guessing if you hadn't been a successful musician, what do you think your career would have been away from music, like not answering music teacher? I mean, what sort of day job do you think you would have had?
oh shit, I think probably I'd be a crack dealer or maybe a bartender. No, that's not true. I would sell something more lucrative, not crack. So, I had a journalism scholarship when I was in high school,
Okay,
and so that is probably where I would have gone. I would have gone in that direction, and I'd probably be out of a job by now because all the newspapers shut.
all
But
AI, yeah,
yeah, but that or archaeology. I think I'd probably love to go out there and just dig for stuff and discover, cool
totally,
things.
yeah.
I'd probably done that.
When you were in G and R, started in G and R, it was the cusp of the end of the night. Sorry, the start of the '90s and everything. What's the most outrageous thing then you ever got involved with the band, or are you not going to answer that because you're going to swear on the
Oh,
fifth?
yeah, well, yeah, there's too many to mention, and all those ones I probably shouldn't mention. But it's been great, and it's been so much fun,
Yeah.
and there's been ups and downs, of course, there is with everything.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm really at the end of the day, I or when I get up every day, I look in the mirror and I go, you know what? I'm so lucky to be able to play rock and roll music for a living, and I just thank my lucky stars.
Absolutely. That's hence the title. Rock and roll chose me, and indeed it did, didn't it? Did choose you, man. So you've been
Yes.
blessed, dude. You've been absolutely blessed, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers, and listeners?
Yeah, you know what I do, and it's just a little. I just want to let people know you can still pre-order the special edition vinyl. It's translucent orange, and it's signed by me, and there's a poster and sticker. And you can do that by going to the bio page on my Instagram, um, Dizzy F and Reed, and you can click on a link, or you can go to the 50Q Records website, and click on that link there too if you would want to get your hands on that. And otherwise, it's available digitally.